Hello, Steve White, Steve Arts 89. Well, I'm not a James Gunn fan, and some fans are pointing out a few things about the new film which are kind of obvious, and I'm like, wow, that's some bad writing there. Um, One of the things that James Gunn changed, which I think absolutely destroys Superman's character and the Kryptonians and his just everything, his legacy, everything, is that now the Kryptonians are apparently warmongering races that sent Superman to Earth to, you know, rule over Earth and to, spread his seed and have a harem of women and breed with as many as possible, and just a bunch of they've just ruined the Kryptonians, and they weren't his characters to ruin. And a lot of fans are upset about that. And a lot of people thought in the film that this was Lex had just faked this message to try and destroy Superman. But James Gunn has doubled down and said, no, we've changed that. The Kryptonians are different now. And that's how it is. Now, hopefully someone will come in and retcon this in future movies and say that it was just Lex faking it and that they're not really like that. Because the idea that Superman is who he is in spite of his race because of humanity is a different character from he came from, this evolved race, and he was coming, to give us hope and show us a better way. It's changed the character, it's changed the themes, it's changed everything, and it doesn't work, and I hate it. And the other issue is Supergirl. She wasn't sent from Krypton as a baby. She lived on Krypton. She saw the culture. She was there during that era. She knew, there's no way that how does she not tell Superman, oh, by the way, our race are a bunch of evil warmongers, and they didn't send you here to be a beacon of hope to humanity. They sent you here to conquer the earth and to spread your seed. And mind you, I'm just going off and having 10 babies to spread the seed because I should have the same, I should be the same as his parents. Like, she's inconsistent with Kryptonians. He is, but it's just because he was raised by humans and was a baby when he was sent from Krypton, but she wasn't. So how does she not correct him from this misconception of what his race was? Or how does she not know, their own culture and their own race and the people that she's grown up with and lived among? It's ridiculous, and it's a huge story plot fail. I don't know what you want to call it, but it's like, how does this work? How does she not know? It's like some twist they just put on at the end and didn't actually realise it changes so much you have to go back and now change these characters. Supergirl should be a totally different character because of this, but they're just acting like it doesn't matter because they think we're stupid and we're not going to, think about things like this. And fans are. That's why they're bringing it up. And why doesn't Supergirl know this? Why doesn't she tell him this? Why isn't she representative of the Kryptonian culture we're being told that they are now? Because James Gunn is bad at writing movies. Now, another thing which people pointed out, which I didn't really think of, but of course, Ultraman is a clone of Superman. How could Superman not know this? And people saying, well, obviously he's wearing a disguise. He's got this mask on, like Superman has X-ray vision. Now, if he was wearing some sort of, what is that? He can't see through lead? If he was wearing some lead suit, wouldn't Superman have commented on that, noticed that, acknowledged that? Wouldn't that be some sort of thing to worry about? Why is he wearing a lead suit? What is he hiding? But apparently we're not supposed to think that deep. We're not supposed to think that hard. And it's just supposed to surprise us when, oh, it's a clone. When apparently everyone who knows about Ultraman knew this already, because I didn't know who Ultraman was. I watched the Superman movies, the Superman TV shows. I read a couple of the comics when I was a kid, but I didn't follow the comics seriously as a kid and into teenage years or adulthood or anything. So I'm not up on the lore. So I didn't recognize who and what Ultraman was, but other people did. And Superman should have as well, especially since, he could see through the costume. And if he couldn't, that should have been a thing, and it wasn't. So there are a whole bunch of things that don't work with James Gunn's universe and his Superman. And aside from things like Peacemaker appearing when he's from the other DC universe, I did a whole video about that because that's just wrong. Now, there's talk they're going to establish these jumped universes or something like that, but they haven't done that yet because in season 1 they actually show the Justice League as they appear in the DCEU cinematic universe. So, but you're just supposed to ignore that because James Gunn, that's his show and he wanted to keep it, even though he threw out everyone else's DC work. But he made an exception for his, even though it's inconsistent with the universe and can't fit in. So he's probably going to retcon that, but he may not, because he's so arrogant. He may just be like, I don't care. You just have to accept that. You just have to accept the universe is inconsistent in my favor, and that's it. So yeah. So I had to talk about that for a minute because it drives me nuts. But I'm going to go. Feel free to share, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think. Maybe ding the bell, go to the channel, look for videos, because they won't be popping up in your feed because YouTube doesn't support small channels like this. And I hope I've held the Superman up before, because this is a pretty good one. And I'm trying to hold one up in each, and I think I've done it. But I feel like I neglected him.